Net impressions multiple times with the play that Quinn made on the first play of the second half against the Raiders coming from way beyond it. What did you see on that play, and what do you think that represents about the way you guys are playing right now?
You see a guy that's a veteran and a leader on the team that is kind of emptying his tank on every play, and that effort shows on tape, and I think that's what you see on tape, and that's what I've told you guys from the beginning. We want to be able to be palpable on defense, whether you're in the stadium or not, and I think when guys run to the ball, everybody sees that and notices that, and good things happen.
You guys obviously get out of that with a three and punt pretty quickly because that play is made. Is that something that you further emphasize when you come back through the film study?
Oh, for sure. I mean, if he doesn't swarm like that, who knows? Maybe it's 1st and 10 there, and then the whole mood of everything changes because Bilal got a TFL on the next play, and everybody's mood changes, and so you never know what play can be an impactful play in the game, and so that's the kind of effort that we want to strive for on every play.
I know you're going to say it's only 5 games, but how pleased are you with what the pass rush has been able to do, and what does it allow you to do that you don't have to blitz to get to the quarterback?
You're right. It is only 5 games, and I mean we're pleased. We're happy with where we are. We're not content, and we're not. We don't think that we've still reached our potential. And I think you speak to a lot of guys on this team and the coaches on this team on defense. They know there's still areas of improvement, and that's the part that really excites us, is that we can continually still grow and still improve, and it's the details and the techniques and fundamentals. So you kind of just want to keep building, and we're trending better here the last couple weeks, but there's still work to be left done.
What makes Rodgers so good at the line of scrimmage? Is it? I know he's played a lot of games, and that's part of it.
Yeah, that's right.
Probably also takes a pretty amazing intelligence to be able to look at what you're in and call it out.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you hit it right there. He's got a lot of years. He's seen a lot. He's super bright, and he's super talented. So all of that are good formula for a good quarterback in this league. And so he does it all, and he's seen it all. And so I think that's what really makes him really good.
What is the challenge on your part to mask things as best you can? And I think Jalen said the other day, sometimes you just got to play the defense you show them because you can't be shifting every time. Yeah.
That's right. I mean, the challenge is to try to just get him off a read. And he's okay playing off of read, because he's okay scrambling and extending plays. But at least you get him to the second or third one, and you buy some time for the rush and the coverage to work together. And so that's a challenge, and it's about mixing it up and giving them different looks and that are honest or not honest. Whether you're disguised or not, it's just giving him different looks and giving him different pictures, and you just keep playing the game with him, and it's going to be a 60-plus minute battle for us to do that. You got to mentally and physically strain in this game.
A large share of their offense right now is going to Devontae Adams, but it doesn't seem to make it it seems obvious, but no one's really been able to stop it. Why has it been so hard?
They're good players, and so when they're good players and you got a quarterback like that and a receiver like that, and the system allows them to create space for those guys, and even on all the run plays, you got to defend those backs now because they've got a good running game and those backs are really good, but on all their run plays. There's any moment where Aaron can get up and throw the ball, and everybody's block and run, and you're fitting the run, and all of a sudden there's Devontae catching one in the flat, or there's Tanyan catching one in the flat, or whoever it is. Somebody's catching one on a fade ball, on a run play. So, they're attacking all levels of the field and all parts of the field and using your eyes against you. And so that's where we got to be really disciplined and patient and just kind of keep straining through the game.
How do you describe Devontae as a route runner and the challenges he presents to corners?
Yeah, he's one of the best as a route runner. He understands stems. He understands. He's got a wide array of toolbox of how to beat different looks, and that's a credit to him. To develop that, and so that's what makes him great. And there's a handful, maybe you can count them on 2 hands, of receivers that do that in this league, and he's one of them.
I know Gibson's been playing some. He'll probably have to give you a little more now. With
Trevis.
Yeah, Travis.
Yeah.
With the tattoo out, do you think he's ready to handle a bigger share of a rotation?
Yeah, we'll continue to rotate guys in and out of there, and we're confident in all the guys that we put into a game, And so they understand that regardless of how many reps you play in the game, the standard's the standard. And the expectation is the expectation of what we want out of those roles and those positions. So he'll be ready. He's, I'm sure, I think he's eager to take whatever reps he get, whether it's 1 or 100. He's going to be ready to go because that's the kind of mindset he has.
Rodgers has had a lot of success against everyone, obviously, but also against the Bears in the last several years, and you have a lot of players on your team that have been on the field for that. Do you ever, as a coach, have to talk to them? Do you worry at all at ever becoming a mental thing and more than just a physical thing about, like, this is a guy that has our number, we need to do something differently or anything like that?
Not in terms of that, what you said, but yeah, you always worry about the mental aspect. That's part of the game, for our guys, and make sure they're in the frame of mindset that we want them to be in, that we think is going to be the most advantageous for us. And for us, it's about continuing to build our brand of defense that we're doing regardless of who we're facing. I mean, you guys know there's a lot of good quarterbacks in the league, and we've got a lot on our schedule. So it's not going to reset. There's no time for deep breaths and woo-saw moments here. We got to keep straining mentally and physically and keep plugging along and moving forward and executing to the best of our ability.
Sean Gibson had a sack against the Raiders. How much of that is just the element of surprise?
You got to ask the Raiders that. I mean, we had a plan in there to hit some safety pressure, and it hit, fortunately for him. And he had a good plan in terms of how he was going to rush based on who he got. And he kind of leaked out of there, Derek, and he pursued and sacked him. So, I don't know how much that's an element of surprise or not, but I just know I can speak to what our plan was and how we want to call that.
What is your philosophy just on quarterback safety blitzing? It seems like it does present the element of surprise as opposed to linebackers, whatever. But also the Bears, even for a long time, have been hesitant to use it. And just in general, what is your philosophy on using that part as part of your game?
Yeah, I think there's a time and place for it, just like I think there's a time and place for linebacker blitzes, the same way there's a time and place to drop Khalil Mack in coverage. So I think it's a matter of how the game goes and what kind of feel you get and what you think is best for your team, for all 11, to make sure that we can execute whatever we need to execute from a rush and coverage standpoint.
On the flip side of what Larry was asking, you've obviously been here for a couple big wins over the Packers and slowing Rodgers down to an extent where you were available. Are there things, without giving away specifics, that you can draw? I'm thinking 15 and 18 in particular, where you really slowed Rodgers down and can utilize?
There's anytime we're game planning, as coaches, we kind of use our own experiences to build that plan, and we've got a whole set of coaches here that have a lot of great experiences, and so that's how we approach each of those games. I mean, he's a different player. He's evolved. The offense is different. We've evolved. I've evolved. And so, we just try to do whatever's best now for our players and put our current players in those best positions because the players are different.
I'm sorry. Jones and Dillon have both been very effective, but they're very different style running backs. When you see which one is out there, does that cause you to change your coverage or your attempts to stop the run?
Well, we always try to be as strategic as we can with how we call the game, based on a lot of factors. Personnel, whether it's running back or not, tight end or not, receivers, whoever we think that we need to do, we try to do the best we can to manage that. And then you're right, they are different style running backs, and they're both playing at a high level, in my opinion, and they present different challenges. One thing that is common is that they can make you miss, so we need to tackle really well on both those guys.
Not asking for specifics, but I'm curious, are there things you saw against Rodgers and the Packers while you were an assistant coach that you said, I'm gonna do something different? Have you seen something over the years that you were going to apply now that you're in a position to do it?
I'm sure there's some things, but usually I've been around good staffs too where whatever input was had, those coordinators respected that input too during those meetings. And they took everything into account, like we try to do with the current staff that we've got. We try to take everything into account. So the idea is, it wouldn't have been something like, hey, man, I think this, and I'm not going to share it with anybody. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, right, it's still 11 on 11 football. And no matter what you do, it's about impacting guys in different ways. And obviously, he's a primary guy you got to impact with disguise, rush, coverage, and the whole element of it. and you got to respond to the running backs and Devontae Adams and the other skill guys that they got with the tight ends too. So, you know, the biggest thing, our biggest point of emphasis is that we got to be technique and fundamentally sound in this game and make sure that we're running to the football the way we want to run to the football.
Along those lines, with the experiences that you guys have as coaches, Mike Pettin's experience is pretty unique right here in this matchup. How does he help you this week?
Similarly, just like I've told you guys the previous weeks, you know, all of our coaches help and assist with ideas and how we want to create the plan. And so he's got other information but he still presents in those ideas. And if we see it fit into our plan, you know, we're not reinventing the wheel here on defense. You know, we play a certain brand of defense and we play a certain style of defense, and that's what we're going to do. And then we got to adjust certain things based on how we see things fit into our defense. And our players, you know, I mean, the most important thing is our players being able to execute what we want them to execute.
But it's fair to say that based on where coaches on your staff have been, like you might lean on one a little bit more in 1 week, one in another, just based on when you're coming up with whatever the game plan is.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say, but it's also fair to say that everybody's got ideas, and these ideas can come from all different avenues, you know, and there's good ideas everywhere, and we try to listen to everything, and then that's our job, and that's my job as the coordinators to kind of consolidate that and try to come up with a clear vision and a plan of how we want to play this game.
What did you like about bringing Danny in to rotate with Alec, and what was the conversation like with those two guys who are veterans and kind of used to playing full games?
It was professional, and it was as a matter of fact as you would expect. I mean, you know, we have a plan for everybody that's on our team, and you guys see we play a lot of people on defense, and everybody's got a plan, and we communicate that clearly to our players, and then we let the game flow decide some of the stuff, and so it was pretty upfront and clear.